Here's that opening bill. Here's that opening bell on that earnings and that blowout number. We'll go over the numbers later. They surprised the street. You can see the gap up that it's creating in the futures, both the S&P and the Nasdaq 100. We're going to hit a super high, and it's going to come down off of them highs, but this is live, and this is how people are chasing stocks. So you got a $38. Now hit that 460 on the high, and I know where them deltas are. I do know where they're at. And let's take a look. So the after hours high delta was 7 1/4. Remember when Google was down 7 deltas and it bounced? Well, this one went up 7, and it's anticipated. And the thing about it is that you have fallen quickly off of those delta highs in our system. Great gap. Wonderful gap up there at 7 1/4. 7 full deltas is 459.26. That's 7 full delta, and it looks like we may have gone as high as 7 1/4 delta. MMT at 457.09. If you take a look there, you'll see exactly where you are. You're 6 5/8 delta up. So you already have that short working off of that high, and it's coming down off of that initial pop. Here we go. So MMTs, you've seen a print right up there at 8 3/4 deltas in our system. That meant that was $48.56 gap to the high, and then a short. And you can clearly verify the numbers. So why don't you tell me your numbers again, where the shorts were? 468.95, and that was 2 pennies away at 468.97 at 8 3/4 deltas. Then from that point, we are now printing at from 8 3/4 delta. Where are we printing at now, young lady?
453.56. This is 6 full delta is at 653.71.
All right, and that's exactly where we're at, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's your support level, Mike. Now, if we were going to buy it, we'd have to buy in down at around 4, let's say 4 deltas would be 444.50 or so is where we would like to see if this will sell off. Right now, it's found that delta support line, though, has it not? MMT?
It's printing up.
Yeah, it's found that delta, hasn't it? On the pullback, obviously. So let's see what they do if they want to take it here. One thing about the entry is that that gap is being sold. That's a $13 drop from what I'm hearing so far, and now it's coming up. So it found your delta range, MMT, at 6 full delta would have been 6 or 453.71 is 6 delta. So I'm going to put limit orders out and see if it'll come down to 448.16 at 5 delta and see if it gets weak up here at the top. Fair enough? Is that okay? Let's see which way it goes, and let's see where the public finds its, from its gap. You can see the print. So that's a $35 upside print to the name. However, in the last quarter, it didn't do very well, and it went down well over $25. So this is the follow-up quarter of that last quarter that they reported in 2011, and it's part of your Christmas sales around the world. Apple is kicking cylinders. I will let somebody read the Apple report momentarily. It's at what?
5 3/4.
And what price would that be?
Well, 5 3/4 is 452.32.
That's
Right
right.
now it's 453 by 453.39.
Exactly. So they're starting to walk it down to maybe where we could get in at a 5 delta area for a trade at 448.16. We've been waiting quite a while since it was up there at 468, right?
is 616 or 68.
448.16 was 5 deltas. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the 468 short down to that delta entry because the stock has fallen from 468 to going that way, right? So 5 deltas where we're going to limit our order in if we can get hit.
Go along?
Yeah, that's right. That's the 5 delta movement, kind of like what we did with Google as far as wanting to do the long side. Okay? So here we are. We had that high movement right around 468.95. We've dropped $18 off of that super gap high short. So the shorts were up there, way up there when that thing flashed all the way up to 468.95. That's when you can do it. Now it's going to pull back. They beat by 379. Beats on revs and guides QET. I'm sorry, Q2 EPS revs above consensus. And what they're trying to say is 37.4 million iPhones sold in Q1 versus the street estimate of 30 million. The 15.43 million iPads sold in Q1 versus the street's 14 million. So they're a million up there, or yeah, they're up above there. Q1 gross margins of 44.7% versus the street estimate of 40.7%, and guided and 40% guidance. How nice. The Apple momentum is incredibly strong, and we have some amazing new products in the pipeline. We're very happy to have generated over 17.5 billion in cash flow from operations during the December quarter. That's a very, very important thing. It's a very good report. They executed well. Mr. Cook did well. Uh, and they blew out that number for the guy that founded the company. And this is that hard work that you see right here at 450. $18 off of there. We're going to try to see if we can pick us off a trade here again at price levels that would be manageable. So they're on the conference call now, but that's the news that I can give you. I would like you to know that the upside guidance for Q2, that's that EPS of 8.50 versus $8, was Capital IQ consensus estimates. So that's important, MMT, because that's a 50-cent deal. Now, having said all of that, is where these drop downs are going to be and where the people are going to want to continue to climb into it. So Apple Computer has survived, and Apple Computer has a huge gap. Not only that, it's bouncing off of those lower delta lines back up in this area at 450 and some change here, just slightly bouncing up. So it's only $17 off the high. Great report, blowout quarter. Look at our other videos. We were bullish back on it, thinking that Mr. Cook could do it, and he did, and there'll be lots of trades on this tomorrow.